Good afternoon. My name is Toni Kelly, and I am the chair for the We the People Party of Washington State. And today, Michael hopefully will be joining us in a little bit, but he's got some other stuff he's taking care of. So it's just me. So today, what we were going to talk about was some bills that are going through right now up in Olympia. I had seen a few articles about some stuff and thought that these would be really good to discuss. So let me bring this up on the screen, one of them, because what I really want to do also, before we kind of get into the bills and while we're waiting for Michael, is to show you what it looks like to look at one of these on the website and to show you how to make comments when you know that you can make comments and all of that good stuff. So I am going to, give me 1 second here. Let me just make this a little bigger so that I know that we can see it. There we go. Okay, so this one, and we're going to talk about this bill, but this one is, I believe, the grocery bill. No. Oh, no. Okay. This is another law enforcement bill. Oh, here it is. So up at the top here, we've got the name of the bill. And then it talks about what the bill is. So this one concerning agencies, firefighters, prosecutors, general or limited authority law enforcement, extended eligibility for employment, or they want to extend the eligibility for employment for all United States citizens or persons legally authorized to work in the U.S. under federal law. So we're going to dive into that a little bit. But what I wanted to show you is this one, for example, has already gone through all of it. It's already been approved by the Senate. If you come down here, now we can see all of the different steps that bill actually went through. So these are all the steps that it went through. So now it's in the House. So it's passed the chamber, it's passed the Senate. Now it's in the House. And we're looking here now, public hearing on this bill will be at 10:30 in the morning on the 13th of March. So what that means is then that day, if you felt strongly about this bill, you could potentially go up there and speak. I believe that you have to make an appointment or put down that you want to speak to be a speaker. Up here at the top, then, let me make sure this is a view. Yeah. So up here at the top, then you have different things that you can do. So you can get notifications on this specific bill. You can sign up for that. This is how you send in a comment. So the only time that you can comment on these bills through this process, and the only time it really makes a lot of sense is before the hearing or at the time of the hearing when it's actually when they're actually having the public hearings. So then you can send a comment in. So with this, you send in, you put in your address because this is going to pull up your legislative district. Then you enter your contact information, and then you put down here, and this is all that you have to do. You don't have to leave a lengthy comment. You can just support, oppose, or neutral. And then you can write down anything extra down here that you would like. And then you can also request a copy of it, and then you submit it. That is one way that you can go about telling your legislators as directly what you think about a specific bill. And that's a really important thing to do. And that is something that we should all know how to do. So I put a link in the comments, or not in the comments, but in the description for our email and our newsletter. And because we are in session for this newsletter, I am going to include the links to be able to go in and comment on these. This hearing for this specific bill, which is on groceries, whether or not grocery stores can use those digital tags that we're starting to see. So this one just was in committee yesterday. So public hearing on this for the House is actually over. You can no longer comment. You can send a comment. They haven't voted. So you can send in a comment. I'm not saying that you can't. The best time to do it is definitely before they vote. But the public hearing, that's its purpose. So let's see here. I'm going to get out of here. And let's see. So some of the things that I've seen today, one of them is on, Washington lawmakers are considering a bill to end retail surveillance and surge pricing. I don't think a lot of people, I guess I assume a lot of people are probably not familiar with this. There's a lot of technology that just happens that we don't realize is happening. So there's things like, the algorithms that show you what you see on Facebook or X or anything, right? These algorithms are designed based on a lot of different information points. Your cell phone, everything that you opt into, we opt into everything without reading it, right? Who reads those lengthy things that you're supposed to read before? I don't. I mean, I can pretty much guess what's in it. We'd probably be actually horrified if we stopped and read them with what they do with our data. But this is what gives them all the information on this. So they take a lot of this data and they can figure out how you shop, what you're going to buy, how long you're going to spend in the store, and how much they can charge you. If you look on Facebook, you'll see whatever you're searching for, you see a multitude of different things. You see multiple brands, you see things that are recommended, right? They do all of these things so that you are, so that they're reading all of that information and how much time you're spending looking at things. And they know what you're going to spend and what you're more likely to buy. I'm cheap. I'm cheap. I like nice things, but I want them as cheap as possible. So I will search for the best price. Somebody else might see something and think it's nice and not even think to look and just buy it. And they don't necessarily care what it costs, so they develop these algorithms. So what's happening now in the grocery stores is about almost 20 years ago now, I worked at Walmart for 3 years, overnights. I was custodian. I was scrubbing toilets. And I started seeing, they were talking about putting RFID. I wish that I had one on something. They were talking about putting RFID chips and everything. Now, the purpose of it is to make it easier for scanning, right? So that they know how many products are in the store of a certain type when they need to reorder, all of these things. Like it's their purpose. But, think about how much that can be used. You're walking through, a lot of them, they're using their cell phones at work, scanning things. I know when I go to Walmart, I have my phone, I have the app, and I will scan something to see how much it is if I'm not seeing a tag. But a lot of them are digital now, and everything is coordinating with your phone. So the fear of that is that it's going to, you might see a different price than I see when you walk by, because you might be willing to pay more for something than I am. Or maybe they'll use it where you're going to the grocery store and you're in a hurry and it's, you have surge pricing. And so people off work, they want to get home. They're probably not going to pay as much attention. So they may raise the prices during those times. I don't know if anybody notices this, but when you shop online and you're, I don't do this because it drives me crazy, but if you go on Safeway and you want to make an order to pick up or have delivered or something, the prices are different than in the grocery store. I pay really close attention to prices, and you will notice that the prices are totally different in the grocery store when you go in to buy something than they are online, because the people that are shopping online are more willing to pay more for that convenience. So they're figuring out what are you willing to pay for and what are you not willing to pay for using those algorithms. So go ahead.
There we go.
Hey.
Hey, sorry about that. I was super busy.
Yeah, no, you're good. I was just rambling.
Fantastic. What were you rambling about?
Well, I've seen a few bills today that are interesting. One
Sure.
of them was a grocery bill where they want to stop. Have you seen the digital tags in the grocery stores?
Nope.
So here in the grocery stores, they're using digital tags so that they can change them whenever they want. And so this bill is supposed to stop that because they're using algorithms to decide what people will pay. And so they foresee some real problems with that, which I don't disagree with. Right. Stopping that is
So if someone with more of a net worth comes in, the prices fluctuate for that person because they can afford it. Is that the deal, or?
So it's surge pricing, right? So like a lot of it is what I think that they'll be using it for is like figure you're coming home from work, right? Like you have that rush hour time. People aren't paying close attention to the prices. They're rushing in, rushing out to grab what they need. And so you have surge pricing where they're probably where they could charge more during that period of time because people aren't paying as close attention, right? You're willing to pay more for the convenience of running in and out, or you pay more. I guess my only hiccup here is I don't understand why this and why now, because this happens for everything. This is how it's done on Amazon. This is how it's done at the grocery store now. If you shop online and get your groceries picked up, it's more expensive than if you go into the store. So I don't know what the difference is.
On top of it?
Oh yeah. I can't bring myself to do it. I'm far too cheap. So I noticed it. I noticed that the prices are higher when you go online to shop at like Safeway.
Interesting.
To have them shop for your groceries. It makes sense, right? And if you're willing to pay that price for that convenience, okay, that's fine. And maybe that's where the difference is, right? You don't have control over it in the grocery store. You go in the store at rush hour because that's the only time that you have to stop. And it, you're paying more for your groceries because that's when you're available.
Gotcha.
So that's this bill that they're created to try to stop surge pricing and stop these digital tags that they're using. It's just funny to me that they choose now and that they're worried about the algorithms, personal data.
So is that here in Washington State where that bill is coming forward? Gotcha.
Yeah, it is. It's HB 2481.
So they want to stop that, stores doing surge pricing, but they're okay with the government increasing taxes on freaking everything.
Yeah, totally different. Because
they're going to get the money. They don't want anyone else making money. They want to make the money. Make the money. Yep.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy. I can't quite wrap my brain around that one, really. I mean, it sounds like a great idea. It sounds smart. It makes sense to me, but there's so many other areas where this should have been stopped so much sooner.
Yeah.
Than the digital tag. And I can tell you, because I worked at Walmart for 3 years ago. I mean, they were talking about this technology 20 years ago. So this isn't new, and this is something that we should have seen coming. So I guess I don't know why we wait so long to deal with it. Because to me, this seems just wasteful at this point.
Is it just like, are there digital prices on products now? Okay.
Yeah.
So they're not swapping it out when the prices change. It's all digital, and it's just
just a click of a button that they can just make that change.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah. we're not that technologically advanced out here on the coast.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. It's just a funny place for me to, I mean, I don't disagree with it. It just makes me wonder why. Why now? Why this? Why is this the thing that they're choosing to, because our store cards do the same thing in essence, right? Like we get discounts when you have those store cards that stores all your data. They know exactly what you bought. They know exactly how often you buy it. They can control everything. And so that's, with Fred Meyer's, they send you coupons tailored to you, right? With Safeway, you get digital coupons tailored to you. Like they're already doing all of this stuff. So I don't know. I probably should read more into it and see exactly, like, I mean, I've read it and it's all about surveillance, The main provisions, it defines and prohibits surveillance-based price discrimination and surge pricing, which means changing prices based on personal data, browsing purchase history, algorithms that profile individuals or data from their devices. I guess maybe people don't realize that this happens and that this has been happening for decades now. And so maybe this, like, whoever did this bill is like, oh my God. Maybe it should be shocking. Maybe this will be shocking to people. I don't know. Anyway, that was
yeah, but the government's totally fine with surveilling us. They are fine with it.
Yeah. I just thought it was pretty funny. There's another bill for our police enforcement that I thought was pretty interesting. And this one is this one is making it so that anybody can be in law enforcement, firefighter, prosecutor, right? All of these things, apparently, you have to be a U.S. citizen for. And now they want to open it up so that anybody with a work visa who's here as a refugee, who's here legally but isn't a citizen, can do these jobs. So refugees, asylum, officer. Could be a police officer or a prosecutor, or, so they can come over as a refugee from another country and be able to qualify for these type of jobs.
I don't know about that. I'm a little torn on that.
I have a problem with that one. I had to think on it for a little bit though, but it's like, so it's kind of a big issue. I know that a lot of people will see it as like black and white, but for me, it's like somebody coming here as a refugee, they appreciate what we do for them, but they're not coming here because they chose to come here. They're coming here because they need safety, in most cases. And so they're not choosing here because of our lifestyle. They're choosing it because it's safer. That doesn't mean that they don't believe what they came from, right?
Yeah. So
this is where you get into things like, and I can't think of her name, but who's the one in Congress that everybody's always pissed off about? It starts with an I. And she's a refugee, or she was a refugee. I'm assuming she's a citizen now. I think that she got citizenship.
Yeah, she's Somalian.
Okay. And so just to, like, this isn't about her being Somalian, but just coming here as a refugee, right, from Somalia, she's not necessarily, and I think that you see this in her policies, like she's not necessarily pro-America, right? She still has a problem with our Constitution and stuff like that. And she doesn't necessarily, from what I've seen, necessarily interested in following constitutional type laws. She would not be she thinks that some of the things that we do are just stupid. So yeah, I can see that being a huge problem. that's a problem for me. But it passed the Senate, and it had a lot of Republican support.
Yeah, well, what do you do?
Yeah. So that one is another one that I think that I'm not sure. I think that they need to be having those jobs of authority.
Yeah, and then there's the minibus bill, the spending bill that they're putting forward to make sure the government doesn't shut down on January 30th. And there's another $5 billion for refugee relocation to the United States.
There's always some things I wonder if I should just keep in my head. I don't understand. I don't know why we need to go save the planet. Like, why do we need to bring them here? Why can't we use that money to help them there? Or help them relocate to somewhere closer that has their ideas and they go there. I don't know. I don't know why they all have to come here.
Our government is taxing us too much and spending too much money. And it's making it hard for us to live. It's not, Donald Trump talks about America first and all these politicians talk about America first, but that's not the case. If we're passing out billions and billions of dollars to all these other countries and then paying refugees to come here, they move here, they get everything paid for, and they're laughing at us because they're not working. They get their housing, they get food, they get a cell phone, some of them get car allowances. Like, they are getting thousands of dollars a month in subsidies, whereas the taxpayers are losing thousands of dollars a month out of their paychecks to cover this stuff. And it's bottom line, it's just not fair and it's not right, and it's got to stop sometime.
Well, and there's no incentive for them to contribute when they get it all. I mean, there's no incentive. It's why would you? I mean, if I was getting what they're getting, why would I waste my time doing anything?
Well, if I was getting what they're getting, I would still do what I'm doing now. I would just have more money. I would still work because I'm not lazy. I know. I don't want to sit around and watch TV. I don't even have a TV.
I know. That's funny. Our TV died last night, and I think we actually, when we went to bed, when we sat there and was like, do we go get another TV? And he's like, no. He's like, let's just see for a while what happens. Like, how do people live with no TV? I don't know. Let's find out.
I haven't had a TV since my early 20s. So
yeah.
What I'll do, I do have a laptop and I do watch stuff on Netflix here and there, have movies, or, not a big deal. It's just, but when you get sucked in and the average American watches, 4 to 5 hours of TV a day, you're losing that time when you could be doing something productive.
Well, I was going to say, I don't know how anybody has that much time to sit and watch TV.
I don't. I make sure my days are full. So.
Yeah. I wish if I had 4 or 5 extra hours a day, boy, I'd fill it up real quick. It wouldn't be extra anymore. I guess that's what I've done, actually, now that I say that, right? So.
Well, it looks like my battery is about to die, and I need to get my charger out of the truck.
Yeah. So. No, you're good. I think we're just 5 minutes out. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can run and grab
okay.
it. But...
Yeah, no, I think you're okay. I mean, that's all. I just saw a couple bills. I mentioned earlier that I put the link on there to donate, and I put the link on there to our newsletter because I will have all of this information in our newsletter when it goes out, hopefully this weekend.
Cool. Awesome.
So, all right. Have a good afternoon.
Yes, you too. Take care.
All right. Bye.
Bye.